Hey guys, Tarke here, and I just thought I would do a little update of where I'm going to be for the next few days, since I'm going to be AFK on the stream and all of that good. I also wanted to let you guys know about my new build, because as always, what happens is when you make a video saying I am planning on playing this character into the high 90s, you proceed to rip the next day off stream even better. So we ripped the Scorching Ray Cultist against a pack of white mobs. I haven't got footage, it happened off stream. I was doing just a colonnade, nothing fancy. It was like extra fire damage or something was on the map. I had 8.5k energy shield, incandescent heart, temp chains and feeble were up, fortify was up. I shield charged into the pack. The entire pack swung at the same time and I just died. And they died, like, in the time and I had Vault Righteous Fire up as well. So it was literally just, like, they just swung and just bumped me. And I was just like, huh. Okay. So anyway, what am I playing now and why am I going to be AFK for 3 days? I'm leveling a Ignite-based Trickster. I think Ignite's actually in a pretty good spot. I was a little bit, scared or dubious of Ignite going into 3.3. I wasn't sure if the numbers would really hold out. But I've been wanting to play Ignite for a while. A few of my friends have been playing a lot of Ignite builds. I recommended some Ignite trees at the start of the league, and people have been saying they've had a lot of luck with them. I've been tracking a lot of people's just PoE ninja profiles. If you Google 3.3 Ignite Shaper Kill and Red Elder Kill, there's one guy playing a Trickster Fireball. He's got videos of him doing everything. All the Red Elder Guardians, Red Elder himself, doing Deathless Shaper runs, etc. There's another one of an Elementalist doing it. These are all Fireball setups. There's a guy doing it with Flame Blast. I've seen a couple of Burning Arrow builds, which turn out pretty well. All the Burning Arrow builds that I've seen that went out well were doing shenanigans with the, what's it called, Stormfire Ring, I think it is. It's the Opal Ring, which does some shenanigans where you gain bonus damage for shocked enemies recently. I've seen some pretty spicy Arc Ignite builds. So if you're you want to see it, just Google 3.3 Arc Ignite or Shaper Kill Fireball or Burning Arrow. They exist, right? So yeah, there are a few pretty good setups, but a lot of it kind of really depends on... You can build it correctly, and you can build it very incorrectly. And Path of Building, just by the way, is fucking useless for this stuff. Path of Building is really sloppy when it comes to, Ignite in general. So everything you've seen so far has been 6-link Fireball on just a normal tabula, no shenanigans. We're not doing any memes weapon-wise. I am doing one meme, and I'm going to do this even into endgame. That's a Malachi's Artifice, the famous Ziggy Daniel ring. The reason I want to use this is it gives me EE for my Orb of Storms, and it means I can have EE without having to have EE, so it doesn't fuck me for map clear or anything, and I can still use Scorching Ray and whatever. And Scorching Ray is also a big part of my build. But anyway, we'll chat about the single target rotation. So you apply the Ignite, and then you hold Scorching Ray, and then it kind of just melts with the Orby Stormy. I think Scorching Ray is really crucial to Ignite. If you're doing an Ignite-based caster, which is what most people are doing, and you're not using it, it's I don't know why you're not. So you either self-cast it, or you put it on a totem or something. I think Decoy Totem is too invaluable to pass up. And there's two different ways you can do it. So you can either just go for the pure utility setup, kind of how you would do a, kind of how you do a Wither Totem for a Chaos spell, where you just do fast cast, increased duration, don't give a fuck. But if you're doing the Trickster especially, you do get some increased duration from your Ascendancy. And you're picking up all the burning damage, you have loads of cast speed just passively. So the ideal setup would be trying to get a burning damage helm, and then having a pseudo 5 or 6 link Scorching Ray. So if you wanted to go all in, you'd try and get a burning damage. I believe it's... Is it Shaper or Elder for... I think it might be Elder, sorry. I think it's Elder Helm for burning damage, and then with a 30% more any damage Essence on top of that. For SSF, I'm probably not going to have that. I'm probably just going to have the burning damage Helm base. So try and get the 5-link Scorching Ray. And then with Ignite, right, you're just tapping it once. You just tap the Ignite once, and you've got nothing to do but dodge. So you may as well just, you know, do a couple of Scorching Rays here and there when you can. And then, you know, you can shield charge around, still feel super mobile. If you don't want to sacrifice any, like, defensive mobility, then just shove it on a spell totem. But anyway, my point being is for the people doing Ignite builds who haven't utilized Scorching Ray, I feel like you're really missing out because it scales off of everything you're scaling and shreds the enemy fire res. So it's a massive DPS increase. And, yeah, I just think it's a bit silly not to utilize it when you've got that much, like, raw power. We know Scorching Ray is good, and I've just spent, like, 8 minutes talking about Scorching Ray. So anyway, so why did I decide to go Trickster over Elementalist? So I've played a lot of Elementalist. I've played a lot of Elementalist this league. Most of these setups I've seen have been Elementalist based, so I think it'd be a bit more interesting for chat. And the Trickster is the much faster mapper. It's also much more defensive because of Patient Reaper. So Patient Reaper gives you life and mana sustain. And having life and mana sustain on a mind over matter build, we're going to go straight Mom. I might run an Arctic Armor. I don't think I'm going to do any reservations of just like a Clarity. But so probably just like full life Mom, but anyway. So it gives a lot of sustain to a build which doesn't have Leech, which is very important. It has more attacks than you can get anywhere else, and then it does have some increased damage over time and some more damage over time, and the skill effect duration is just passively quite helpful when it comes to stuff like Scorching Ray, Decoy Totem, Rallying Cry if you decide to use it. I would love to fit a Rallying Cry into my build, but as you can see, I'm really starved just when it comes to links. Now, another thing you can do about Fireball versus Flame Blast, why not both? What's the setup there? So, Flame Blast will have a much bigger Ignite than Fireball. Much, much bigger Ignite. However, from everything I've seen, when people are having a pretty like easy time with red Elder kills on Fireball, Fireball does enough damage, right? So, I would much rather be playing a Fireball than a Flame Blast build, just because it will map substantially faster, and I won't want to kill myself. And I just generally find that on a day-to-day basis, being alive is quite handy. So, yeah, it'll be a far smoother experience, be much more enjoyable characters for me to play. And then, you know, the reason why I don't mention Incinerate is a bit of a...
there you are.
I feel quite passionately about Incinerate. Incinerate is like a worst Flame Blast, in my opinion. Yes, it's a bit smoother than Flame Blast, but it's not as smooth as Fireball, so then what's the point? And it does less damage than Flame Blast. It's like an awkward middle ground, and it doesn't have a Vaal skill. Now, one thing you can do is you can use like a Fireball for clear, then a Vaal Flame Blast for single target. That will give you the most damage. Because I'm planning on doing the whole Scorching Ray Helm setup, I think I've decided that I'd much rather just do a 6-link Fireball / Vaal Fireball in chest. Vaal Fireball, as you can see, is just really nice for incursions. And that's kind of important for me, because, you know, Incursion League, by the way. Being good at the thing which the league is all about is kind of handy. And yeah, I don't know. Flame Blast, I've never been a huge fan of Flame Blast. If you were going to make a Flame Blast character, at least do it on a Trickster over an Elementalist, since you get just so much raw cast speed. This is the bit where I realized that I skipped like all of the quests. But let's get into the like skill tree side of stuff, because you can kind of, you've heard my reasoning and you've kind of seen how it kind of feels level. Nice level. Smooth level. So this is the tree that I'm going for. This is my map clear zoom tree. It might look slightly different to some of the ones you've seen. I've gone for the most attack and cast speed possible without gimping the build. I've also tried to balance the defense as best as I can without gimping the build. So there are some damage things we miss. Again, we've already covered why tricks are over Elementalist, but if you want to do Elementalist, the tree will look basically the same. One really important thing to note, spell damage does not equal ignite damage. Spell damage, just ignore spell damage, pretend it doesn't exist, but without overcomplicating how the new ignite works, just get damage over time, fire damage, elemental damage, generic damage, and pretend nothing else exists. So for example, if we look at this node, it increases the average hit of my Flame Blast, but not so much the ignite damage of my Flame Blast. Before you start writing essays, just pretend, it's messy. The whole new ignite system is really messy and really complicated to understand. So yeah, anyway, Trickster, by the way. Go through the LE damage nodes, we get Elemental Force and Entropy. The reason why we don't stretch further into this right side is just really to save points. We could come up and grab this, which is a bunch of life, but it's, you know, it's like 8 skill points. And for 8 skill points, you're getting 25% life. Is 25% life worth 8 skill points? Not really, so dump that. When it comes to like coming up this way and grabbing Growth and Decay, Growth and Decay is really nice for the 2% life regen, which gets scaled up by Trickster, but is 2% life regen worth 6 points? There's also 28% damage there. Well, 36% damage there. Is that worth 6 points? Yeah, not really. This is a spell damage node. The mana regen's nice. A little bit of in is nice, but it's like, who gives a fuck, really? So, beeline across, grab the jewel, grab the life, get the AoE. AoE will scale the Prolif range, and it will scale the Fireball range or the Flame Blast range, depending on which one you want to use. Come through, grab another jewel. You want to grab the Flask nodes eventually, but not grabbing them early, since I'm planning on probably running 1 life pot, 1 mana pot. So when you only have 3 utility flasks, it feels slightly less effective, but it's still like 7% movement speed per point, and it's still pretty good. Grab life, grab mana, grab all the damage. The reason why I route along the top here, I might mess around with Dual Curse, I'm not sure. We have a corrupted pair of Temp Chains on Hexademas. Good curses are like Flammability, Any Weakness, Temp Chains, and Feeble, the obvious ones. Since I'm doing my Orb of Storms in the Malachi's Artifice, I obviously can't do Orb of Storms Curse on hit. So any Curse on hit setup I have will most likely come from Corrupted Gloves. And we'll really be trying to go for the Corrupted Ellie Weak or Temp Chains. Temp Chains are still nice though. Temp Chains make stuff last longer, so increase the duration of my Ignite, increase the duration of my Scorching Ray. So Temp Chains is really solid, and it's, you know, very nice defensively. Also, since we have the EE from the ring, it makes some ability less worthwhile, and also EE doesn't get scaled down by bosses, flammability does, so I'd rather have the ring over flammability before you go into all of that. But we have the option of going dual curse if you want to. We also have some more damage over time later. Grab the burning damage, grab Ellie Overload, since, you know, there's no real reason to go crit. Perfect Agony is still no bueno, don't ever do it. Grab Mind of Mana, mana regen, get the life chaos damage, come through, more AoE, more life, more attack and cast speed, more mana, and my like fully finished setup, assuming Tarke doesn't do another. I'm really enjoying this build. Let's push this to 100, then rips at 92. I will then come up to Shaper, grab Dynamo, and then that'd be like my 95 tree, and then we would finish up by going like 3-point Jewel, and then 3-point Jewel either through the life regen or the mana. And that would kind of be like my finished. Going for the 2 skill points, obviously, for Banditos. The reason why I don't take this damage cluster on the back end here. 2 points travel. You could then reroute this, so then do like that. So like 3 points versus 2 points. It's not too bad. And then this is fairly efficient damage-wise. But it's a lot of points. So it's something that you could do eventually at high level. And then maybe that's like your finished tree. But, nah, you know, hardcore, by the way, I'd much rather just focus on getting good amounts of defense early. One of the other things I really like about this tree is it's pretty well rounded in terms of stats. So it's got good strength, dex, and int values. So you can very easily, you know, patch everything up with just like 1 amulet attribute roll. In terms of gear, this is a 5.2k life, 2.6k mana using, you know, Tabula, and this is all actual gear I have from my stash. So obviously the Tabula and the Sedemas and the Malachai's Artifice. That's 3 slots with no life, no mana. And that's pretty good defense. You know, we're looking at like just shy of 7 to 8k EHP. Pretty good. With, you know, 3 basic slots, we'll try and... Well, obviously you won't upgrade the ring, but I'll try and upgrade the Steamer, and obviously I'll try and get a better Tabula. Either be it just an actual 6-link, or maybe going for the crazy, like, +2, +4 level shenanigans. We're going for the double fragility and setup. I love Anne's Might. Anne's Might is amazing. There's a... sorry, Anne's Heritage. There's a reason why all the SSF bros use it. It's like 3 max res is really powerful, and it gives you onslaught while at maximum endurance charges. Since I'm going for the dual fragility setup, I might also use a pair of worm sign gloves. These will give me rampage as well. Rampage is really nice. I would love to use a Bisco's belt, but I just don't have one. But yeah, I'll probably end up doing these 2 together. Yes, the Worm Sign does give you Conk Effect, but Conk Effect doesn't increase the ignite damage of like Val Flame Blast or normal Flame Blast, so don't put any of that stuff in there. I'd probably just put like my cast and damage taken setup or some insert utility setup there. And yes, I do have the option of using a Balefire over a Brightbeak if I want like a really big daddy Scorching Ray until I get the crazy Helm setup. That would give me even more sustain, because it would give me even more life and mana recovery. But I should be perfectly fine just using the life and mana kind of recovery of Patient Reaper. And then maybe eventually, like way, way, way in the future, we might try and go for like a plus level recovery on kill, like Shaper or Elder Chest. But that's like, you know, 1,000 levels away. So yeah, this is kind of what I'm doing. This is what I'm up to off stream for the next week, and I will not be streaming until probably Friday or Thursday night. Grill is coming over in 3-4 hours. I'm meeting her at the station. So I'm going to be AFK from the internet for a few days. I'll probably still be active on Twitter. If any crazy news hits, I'll make some YouTube videos. And I will do my best to organize a Bayclast for the Saturday coming. So I'll be doing all of the background Bayclast management while I'm, you know, having my normie time, so don't worry. Are there any particularly like, oh my god, Tarke, we need to talk about X, you know, topics? Current things that people have asked me about. Some people are a bit whiny about the whole Elder Shaper bubble memes, and just general incursion-y stuff. Rise will be back since, you know, you won't be busy racing, so that'll be nice. We might have a little recap of the race. But yeah, it's probably, so far, there's not loads of new stuff to talk about, other than just kind of, okay, we've had a bit longer of the incursion now. What are some cool builds we're doing? Because we're doing, like, the more cool side of stuff. So, you know, I messed around with Ignite, Rise has messed around with Ignite a bit. As for the other guests, I'm not sure entirely who I want to bring on. This might be the time to bring on EE, potentially. Wanted to bring on EE a lot. So, I might do that. But yeah, I'm Tarke. What do you want me to talk about? Ignite, by the way. Dead, by the way. SSF Hardcore, by the way. By the way. By the way. By the way. By the way, by the way.